Okay, let's visit Karen again. No signs of people in the plaza. The house of God stands quiet, no visitors in sight. This place stands far away from the world, further still from heaven, a place of confession for the lost. A girl unknown to me is waiting at the church. Whether it is the first time or the last, it has no meaning here. She is something that never existed to begin with. She is everywhere and nowhere, just like him. The flow of time is irrelevant here. If I'm not mistaken, I'm visiting this place for the second time. I start walking toward the church. Of course, I don't really have any business here. I got all the information I needed last time. It's obvious that this woman is still hiding something from me, but I don't think she'll tell me anything more than she did last time. Her help is needed to resolve this incident. I place my hand on the door while grumbling. There are both good premonitions and bad ones. Without a doubt, the sudden urge to come here isn't going to be a good one for me. The hymn continues. I take a seat and wait for the end of a long reminiscence. The closed garden, the overlapping fingers, the discordant noise, old bitter dreams and weak malice. It's a story from not long ago. The priest that was here 6 months ago would rend open the hearts of people with his words and actions. His methods were indirect and coercive. He would seize an opening to trample upon their deep wounds. That woman is the same as the priest. Her methods differ, but this music deprives people of their affectations as well. It's somehow unsettling. This is most likely an incredible performance, but I can't bring myself to embrace it. Alone in untrodden land, counting the breeze, this place is far away, deeper than everything, an empty sky. It says, rest your mind and let yourself stop moving forward. It says, take a break. If you are tired, you should rest your wings here. That kind of talk is irresponsible. Telling someone to rest when they don't have the power to stand in the first place is like telling them to end it altogether. You must not stop. You must not seek rest. Once you've started, you must fill the cup to the brim. Her performance was over before I knew it. I breathe a sigh of relief once I no longer have to listen to that unbearable piece. And before I knew it, that woman was standing right in front of me. I lift my head and without standing begin to applaud.
Ah, ついさっきできたところ。調べたなら知ってるだろうけど、割と無趣味なんだよ、俺。真面目にオルガンを聴いたのはあんたと知り合ってからか。なんだ。つまりそれぐらいあんたの演奏はお上手だったってこと。
Apparently my blatant flattery paid off as Akada nods, satisfied.
聞いてもいなかったくせに。
And brazenly complains under her breath.
バレてた?
Judging by her reaction, she must find it meaningless to even answer. Well then, the silence is a bit awkward. Somehow, time goes by. I didn't care about talking with her in the first place, so I'm completely okay even with this unpleasant silence. I settle into my seat and squint toward the sun rays beaming through the skylights.
確認するのですが、あなたは私をもう用済みだと言いませんでしたか？
言ったけど、ここは教会だろ？用がなきゃ来ちゃいけないっていうのか？
I immediately respond to her unspirited question.
そうですね。訪れる者が迷いを抱えているのなら拒めません。もっともあなたは子羊には程遠いですが。
辛辣だな。けど何も言い返せないな。懺悔したいことは見当たらないんで、やっぱりあんたに用はないや。
では私との接点はありませんね。
Our conversation ends on that note. The church fills with silence once again. She ought to understand my stance here, and yet Kaden stands unmoving in front of me. We haven't got any business with each other, so she could just leave me alone and go back to her room.
他に話はないのですか？
だからないって。
This is annoying. If we don't talk about something, she'll be standing here like this forever.
わかった。じゃああんたの話。はじゃなくてさ。こっちから話すことはないんだから、そっちが話すしかないんじゃない？俺、ネタはないけど、あんたの話なら聞くよ。
なるほど。それはもっともです。ですが、話すと言っても何を？
なんでもいいよ。話題がないときは自分の素性とか趣味とかネタにするといい。自分が何者かを示すのは会話の基本だぜ。
それはそうですが、そのようなことであなたはいいのですか？
いい。話してくれるなら聞く。
I'm not really interested, but if this woman wants to talk, I can't stop her. Besides, no matter what kind of talk it is, it'll probably be entertaining as long as it's something I don't already know.
わかりました。あなたには必要のない話とは思いますが、これも何か意味があることかもしれません。
After that, Karen goes silent for a short while. Probably because she isn't used to talking about her own history. She seems to enter a deep meditation while trying to recall her past in silence. In the end, it was a predictably tedious tale. She was born in a country in southern Europe and lost her parents soon after. Her father was unknown to begin with. Her mother had a weak constitution and died 1 year after her birth. Official records state she was killed by a robber, but in reality she seemed to have taken her own life. The church treats suicide as a transgression of the Lord's teachings. It's not a mortal sin, but those who have taken their own lives will never pass through the gates of heaven and will suffer eternal torment in purgatory. It's actually a good story. Her mother was a devout believer that, in the final moments of her painful life, found a purpose great enough to rebel against the Lord. To rebel. However, that purpose her mother found was meaningless to a small child. No matter how wonderful the meaning she found was for her, it didn't change the fact that she turned against the teachings of the Lord and left her child behind. Nobody was left to care for the child. Her mother had no relatives and her father didn't come forward. The prevailing opinion among the people was that her terminally ill mother had birthed a child from an unknown man, like a harlot. With no relatives, the child was entrusted to the priest of a small church. Her mother was a believer that took her own life. Her child was placed in the hands of an exemplary, devout priest who looked with contempt upon the woman who had premarital sex with a passing stranger. The child was entrusted to the house of God without a single piece of luggage. However, she did have one belonging. Karen. Her mother had left her nothing but a name. The priest did not give her his family name, instead leaving it the same as the mother who committed suicide. That name was Hortensia. It's the name of a certain flower that blooms on rainy days. The girl lived with the priest for about 8 years. The priest was filled with love towards the Lord, but shared no love for the child he had taken in. He was provided funds for her upbringing, yet made her work as a servant of the church instead of sending her to school. Just by being born, the girl had sinned. She was not baptized at the time of her birth, and until baptized to welcome her into childhood, she would be given nothing of the Lord's love. The priest declared that until then, the human known as Karen could not be recognized as a child of God. However, it was questionable if this unusually strict priest would be generous enough to baptize an orphan at all. There were two reasons why the priest did not grant her a proper education. In order to reduce unnecessary expenses and to prevent her from gaining knowledge. Knowledge must not be given to the child of a beast. That is the first step toward wickedness, and more than anything else, it would be inconvenient in various ways if she gained the capacity to think for herself. After all, defiance and exclaiming harmful truths to the masses would affect the dignity of the house of God. To pray was all the priest permitted her to do. He instructed her to give herself to God. This continued for 8 years. Maybe she became used to suffering, or maybe her emotions were broken from birth, like her father's. The girl didn't think of her life as difficult. She learned of the Lord and of man by watching the priest. She perfected her innocent prayers over those 8 years. And then came the year when the girl was of age to receive baptism. Stigmata appeared on her body, and the priest accepted his defeat. He could no longer control her. He opened the gates of the church that imprisoned her and handed her over to a much larger world. The fortress-like structure of the monastery was built deep in the forest. She cut her connections to the outside world and earnestly continued abiding by the teachings of the Lord in a larger prison. It was a separate world. For the man who lived there, it embodied the very virtues of poverty, purity, and meekness that they strove for. The monastery was a self-sufficient community consisting of devout followers, and all necessities for living were made within the monastery. The followers made their own food and clothing, and as a modest pleasure, a small amount of wine and cheese. Detailed rules for each monastery are different, but the principles are the same. There was only labor for living and prayer for the Lord. Inside the high walls, there was a world of peace and harmony. To achieve a union with God, they renounced the ways of the world and formed a close society of the chosen faithful. Naturally, that lifestyle requires more discipline than at a local church in every aspect. The girl was accepted by the Cistercian order. Among the monasteries, that place had a particularly long history and strict discipline where love of the Lord rivaled even the worth of a person's life. To eat, to work, to worship, to choose. Even those universal rights were not extended to those not loved by the Lord. By that standard, the girl did not even have basic human rights. No, her very existence was unforgivable. It was unthinkable that the venerable Cistercian order would take an orphan child into its ranks. The girl was accepted into the monastery solely because of the stigmata that dwelt within her body. To spontaneously be wounded, to bleed, and to be healed. Knowledge of this ordeal is passed down by the faithful. From the perspective of those believers who live on the other side, it was clear that the girl possessed an unusual power. When it was recognized that she was an advanced spirit medium, that she could sense the nearby drifting spirit matter, act as an intermediary and materialize it into this world through her own flesh, the girl's value skyrocketed. That unusual ability is not something that can be cultivated with training. An ability held from birth, it is a genetic predisposition unrelated to the will of the individual. Such a rarity having a high value is only natural. Karen Hortensia's rare talent will achieve unprecedented results in a particular ritual. In light of this report, the Holy Church entrusted the young girl to the Cistercian monastery. But then again, no matter how valuable she became, the Church never bestowed the Lord's love to her. The girl was given a room, an education, and trained as an instrument of the Lord. She was taught to conduct herself as a perfect believer so that she would not bring shame upon the church's name whenever she went outside. As a general rule, a person who entered the monastery could not live outside of it. They may move to other monasteries, but being outside of a monastery altogether was not permitted. However, she was not invited to be a Cistercian nun, an agent. She was delivered only as an armament of the church for assistance in demon exorcisms. A weapon is intended to be guided by the hands of man. She was permitted to leave the monastery only when her unusual talents were required to make known the Lord's might. The might of the Lord was not meant to be turned toward humanity. It should be directed toward the wild ones who do not fear the Lord, the demons that threaten humanity. To manifest evil, a demon has to take over a human's body. To cleanse this person and reveal God's love to humanity was the task given to the woman, no, to the agent using the woman. She was employed by an exorcist, a special priest, one allowed to act as a representative from the bishops of the diocese. They answer calls for aid, visiting the towns of the possessed to exorcise demons. It was closer to fighting than praying. Her master frequently said to himself that the work was like washing the bottom of hell's cauldron. Exorcisms vary in severity, and the ones her master faced were the particularly intense ones. They did not concern themselves with impostors who blamed their own mental breakdowns on demons or with monster outbreaks. Their opponents were only those who had completely turned into demons. The tragedy caused by a true demon isn't something that can be endured by the human mind. All towns visited by the exorcist had deviated from the world of humans. The damage inflicted by a demon is limited to the possessed, but also spreads to the people around them. More than the possessed person, their spirits, rather than their bodies, are twisted into deformed monstrosities. As her master would say, it wasn't far from a tour of hell. In an exorcism, the weak point that most easily succumbs to death is none other than one's human reason. The body's ability to survive is not that important. In the first place, the extent of a human's power cannot compete with the likes of one who has turned into a demon. The physical body is protected by a holy relic embodying the miracle of the Lord. However, the spirit must be defended by one's own will. What is required in an exorcism is ironclad faith. In that respect too, the woman was suited for exorcism. It is probably for the best that her emotions shifted so little. It is said that the exorcism of a true demon is something that cannot be endured twice, but she continued to perform them indifferently. The woman was valued highly. She had the life of a nun and the role as an agent of the church. The workload assigned to her was nothing short of backbreaking. It probably would have overcome any normal person within a month's time. Although, as far as she was concerned, it was not much different from the daily work she used to do. For her, who couldn't really understand things like fun, torture had become indivisible from work. Ora e labora. Pray and work. It's ironic. Those words which symbolize the monastery had come to symbolize her own life as well.
要するに教会から修道院にたらい回しにされてそこで転職を得たってこと？
もうええ、そういうことで間違いはありません。
Ekaten seems to pout a little as she nods. Whoops! Was she offended that I summed it all up a bit too much?
ああ、なんだ。勘に触った？
はい、驚きました。初めからそう説明すればよかった。今のまとめ方ですが、次から使わせてもらっていいですか？
Her admiration and proposal are both sincere. Whatever, I honestly don't get this girl at all.
いいよ。元からあんたの著作権だ。使いたいならじゃんじゃん使ってくれ。
感謝します。今の簡潔さはどれをとっても真実です。
I'm not sure how to react seeing her act that pleased right after telling such a depressing story. Well, somehow I just felt that way. This woman is actually pleased with having that kind of life up to now.
それはいいけどさ、そこまで話したなら最後まで聞かせろよ。悪魔払いであんた何するの？
Well, no, it's not fine. It's not, but I want to clarify this part first.
何もしませんが、私には悪魔を払う言葉も奇跡も与えられていません。私は死に付き添って歩くだけですが。
は？付き添って歩くだけって、それだけ？
What the hell? Is this guy she's calling Master a coward? Don't tell me he was just afraid to go to towns where the possessed were by himself.
何に憤っているかは聞きませんが、その短絡は間違いです。エクソシストになる者は悪魔を恐れません。恐れるのは心が折れることだけです。
へえ、ご立派で結構だけど、それなら一人で払ってればいいだろう。あんたが付き合う必要はないんじゃないのか？だいたいなんだ、飛躍霊媒体質だっけ？あんた悪魔の近くにいると憑依者と同じ霊障を生んだろ？なら助手っていうより邪魔者だ。火事場にガソリンかぶって飛び込んでるようなもんじゃないか。
それが私の役割です。悪魔は人の目に見えず、取りつかれたものは変貌するまでわからない。いえ、神聖な悪魔は巧妙に憑依者が悪魔つきであることを隠蔽する。育ちきるまで外敵を呼ばないよう極力霊障を抑えるのです。残念ながら育ちきった悪魔を払う術は教会にはありません。エクソシストにできることは彼らが育ちきる前に発見し、これを払うことだけ。悪魔となった者は焼却するしかない。それを可能とするのは異端審問に特化した代行者だけでしょう。
ああ、そういう用途なわけ。
A sudden emotion destabilizes me. I feel just a bit disgusted. Demons can't be seen by humans, only the host knows he is possessed. The first and most difficult step in an exorcism is finding the demon that conceals its true identity. Even for a skilled exorcist, identifying a demon is like walking on a tightrope at all times. This is where she is useful. She has an idiosyncrasy that responds lustfully to the surrounding demons and evil spirits and causes the effects of the possession on its own. From the Church's perspective, it's an extraordinary heresy. Although it would normally be a useless genetic trait that would be harmful to even let exist, there is one specific purpose for which its radical effectiveness is demonstrated. In short, this girl is a living detector that sheds blood to inform others of demons. It makes a tearing noise. It breaks her arms, crushes her legs, and rips her womb from the inside. Even if the form returns, the function does not. The sight from those dull golden eyes was lost long ago. The spell-like voice may not even resound in reality. These are her true colors. She is a messenger of God who saves others by mutilating herself until death.
なるほど。それで。
Her true calling was well set.
そりゃ、マグダラの聖外譜にも選ばれるわ。
It takes some kind of reason to endure such unreasonable pain. She gives unimaginable pain to herself. Even if she doesn't want it, injuring herself is still a masochistic act. You cannot injure yourself out of hatred. Her deeds are not something that can be done without love or faith.
一応聞いておくけど、それって拒否権はあるのか？ねえよな。あったら断ってる。
それも間違いです。教会は厳格ではありますが、非道ではありません。悪魔払いの役職には拒否権があります。
なら、なんで悪魔払いなんか手伝うんだよ、あんた。
そちらの方が意味がありますから。それに、私には外も内も変わりはありません。
Going outside to perform exorcisms and being inside the monastery are no different. Ah, so that's it. I had thought before that she was riddled with bandages and reeked of disinfectant, but it's no wonder. A demon stings at the very heart of a human. No matter where she goes, she can't avoid getting hurt.
まるでゴミ箱だ。悪魔払いを手伝う理由になってないよ、そんなの。あんた、愚痴の一つもないの？
自分が人に比べてハンデを負っていることは理解していますが、それも生まれついてのことです。恨んだところで始まりません。このように生まれついたのなら、その定めに従うだけです。
なんだそれ。治そうとか考えないのか？病気みたいなものなら体質改善とかしろよ。
治療法は発見されていませんし、治したいという希望もありません。自分は不幸なのだと嘆けるだけで十分です。それに、私は確かに傷を負いますが、それは私の傷ではなく誰かのものです。憐れみこそすれ、恨むことはありません。
Holy shit! The hell is she talking about?
そのままでいいってこと？
はい。このように生を受けたのですから、その定めに従うだけです。
She said she'll take everything as it is. I can't speak for how someone else might take it, but this kind of thing doesn't sit well with me.
あんたさ、何がしたくて生きてるんだ？
人生に意味が必要なのですか？
いや、そんなものは意識しなくていいけど、あんたはさ、何もしないために生きてるみたいだ。そういうの、頭くるんだよね。
Someone had complained about something like this sometime or other. It was, I don't like it when people aren't rewarded for their hard work. When were those words said? I wouldn't call it saintly. After all, those imposters known as saints don't try to award results. Because it doesn't fit the equality they preach, they'd never speak of being rewarded in the end. That's why these are nothing but thoughtless words. It's not even hypocrisy, but a questionable, naive wish.
また空気が変わりましたね。先ほどは苛立ちでしたが、今は明らかに怒っている。
Apparently she can read my expression even with her eyes closed. But unfortunately, that's not quite right. It's not that I got angry just now, but that I'm always in a bad mood when I'm here.
まあいいや、あんたにもポリシーがあるだろうし、いちいち口を出すことでもなかった。気に食わないが思うようにやってくれ。
そう。あなたは我慢できない人なのですね。
She pushes back with a blunt tone. Is it her turn to be angry now, or did she just return to her usual self? She looks at me with conceited eyes, appropriate for this church.
何それ？
別に。あなたとよく似た人を知っているから比べてみただけです。もっともその人は我慢できる人ですが、何の接点もない人間だけど面白い共通点があるものですね。
She grins broadly. I don't think it's appropriate for a substitute priest to flaunt her malicious intent.
何言ってるかわからないけど、あんたの知ってるやつと共通点なんかないだろ。
知らぬは本人ばかりなりね。レミやシロンは自身の欲望を殺し、 世の不条理を許せない善人。対して彼は自身の欲望を許し世の不公平を黙殺する悪人。正反対の位置づけなのに共通項が多すぎる。まるで合わせ鏡の悪魔のよう。
An unpleasant smile appears on her face. I figured out something. Karen has even less individuality than I do, but she gets excited at the idea of robbing someone's weak spot the moment she discovers it. The troubling part is how effective her nose for this stuff is. This woman uses her unmatched senses to sniff out the scars of others.
その正反対のやつってなんだよ。
昔話に出てくる人物です。あるところに国中の罪を受け持って死ぬまで罰を与えられた罪人がいました。彼は至って善良な青年でしたが、何の意図もなく罪人に選ばれた。人の意志による行為ですが、そこに人間の意図はなかったのですから、天の意志と言えるかもしれませんね。
天の意志ね。そんなものに振り回されて牢獄行きか。さぞ世の中を恨んだろうな。
いいえ、恨んだのは初めの数年だけ。彼は最後に人々を許しました。長く転変する世界を見て、きっと全てを許したのです。
憎しみは長く続かないってやつか。それはほら、なんだ、加害者側のさ、都合のいい願望だろ
う。でしょうね。彼に根付いた憎悪はもはや永劫と言えるものです。私たちが呼吸をするように彼は常に人を憎む。そういう存在になっている。その憎悪はもはや生態であって感情ではない。そのあり方で彼は全てを肯定した。世界は憎むに値する。人間は千差万別。何が起ころうともそれは不条理ではない。不条理には憎しみを持って相殺するから好きにしろと。大抵の出来事、大勢の人間の欲望をそれもよしと許容したのです。
そりゃすごい。善人じゃなくて聖人じゃないか。
いいえ、全てを肯定するということは時に最大の悪性となる。わかりませんか？全てを許すということは強者は強く弱者は弱いと切り捨てることなのです。加えて彼は個人の欲望を賛美する。本人がいいと思うことをしろと。善悪の観念はなく、ただそうであれと肯定している。
What a troublesome person, Karen adds. That certainly is troublesome. A mindset like that would end up endorsing crime.
まずくないか、そいつ。あんた、神様の代行なんだから、今のうちにしょっぴいとけよ。ほら、あの赤い布とか使ってさ。取り物は得意だったろ？
ご安心を。捕まえるには及びません。確かに恐ろしい存在ですが、放っておいても構わないでしょう。基本的に彼は無能で無害ですから。
何その言い分。ずいぶんひどくない？
真実を言ったまでです。何しろひたすら受動的で面倒くさがり屋な性格ですから、率先して悪を行うことはありません。
ならいいけど。で、そいつと俺のどこが似てるんだ？
わからないのですか？本当に世界を愛しながら憎むか、憎しみながら愛するかだけの話なのに、こんなにも決定的に違っていながら、ただ順序が逆なだけのあなたたちが。
I'm asking because I don't understand, or so I was about to say, but it seemed like a waste of time. I didn't come to talk about this sort of thing to begin with. I just came here on a whim, listening to her talk as she pleased. I have no obligation to rack my brains over some uncomfortable doubt like this.
質問。なんでこんな話になったんだ？
It's obvious now that Karen's switch has been flipped. This contrived shift in behavior is something I've seen often with Tosa Karin.
驚いたわ。それもわからないの？あなた本当に高顔なのね。
他人の喜怒哀楽に疎いというのであれば同感だけど。で、人を苛立たせた理由は何だよ？
呆れた。いいわ。そっちなら答えてあげる。今のは私を勝手に測ったお返しよ。
Examining. I haven't even tried imagining what's underneath that unfashionable robe of hers, but it's like you're living to do nothing. Well, I might have offended her by saying something that was a bit too on the nose. In any case, I think staying here any longer would be even more uncomfortable.
帰る。そんなに話がしたけりゃ公園で適当なやつを捕まえろ。
A simple matter of going whoosh with that red cloth of hers.
ですから、私はあまり外には出られません。あなたは暇ではないのですか？
あんたに会うまでは暇だったけど、今は遊んでる暇はない。とりあえず目標をくれたからな。
Ah, Karen responds in comprehension. That's right, I figured out my path from here on. I socialize with her because she's a valuable source of information, but I should hurry back if there are no more leads.
じゃあな、もし次があるなら、その時は少しぐらい役に立ってくれ。
約束しましょう。次にあなたが来た時、迷っているのなら道を示すと。その代わりにもう一度聞かせてください。あなたは何のためにこの異常を解決したがるのです？
そりゃあお前。
Then why is it exactly? Why am I obsessed with the resolution of this anomaly? Even though after the fourth day it will be as though nothing ever happened anyway.
いや、それは。
愚問でしたね。我慢できない人と言ったのは私です。エミやシローにとって困っている人に手を差し伸べるのは当たり前のことでした。
With the poof, all doubt vanishes. Now that she mentions it, that's right. Because it was something I didn't need to think twice about, it probably wasn't even a reason at all. I can't believe it. But those are the kinds of thoughts that fill this head of mine. I stand up to leave. She looks at me as though she still has something to say.
そんなにこの場所が嫌いですか？それともここより街での生活の方が刺激的ですか？
半分は当たりで半分外れだよ。ここは嫌いだけど、街をぶらつくよりはまあ新鮮味があって悪くない。
They say you'll get tired of even a feast if you don't try different foods every now and then. It's simply enough to have my everyday normal life to go back to. Things like excitement and passion can come later when I've forgotten about them.
じゃあな、そんなわけなんで、ここもあんたも気に食わないけど、気が向いたらまた邪魔するよ。
I start walking towards my daily life.
あなたの毎日は楽しいですか？
どうだろう。とりわけ感謝しなくちゃいけないほど強烈に楽しいってわけじゃないが。
I have to confess, rather than calling it fun, it's also dazzling, it's sometimes a little painful. I leave that foul church behind. With the organ's venom fading, I can finally think straight again. Karin said it's only natural for Emiyashiro to save someone.
あれ？
But still, just who am I trying to save?